Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Always All-Wheel Drive. Today we're talking lifts. I want to walk you through why I wanted to lift my Ford Territory, how I actually did it, what I have planned for it, and even more importantly, the mistakes that I made so that you guys don't make the same mistakes. So let's get stuck into it. All right, everyone. So let's get stuck into lifting your Territory, why I did it, how I did it, what not to do, and where I'm going to take this after this. So why would you want to lift your Ford Territory? Well, there's a couple of reasons why. One, ground clearance. You will find that, especially as you start going off-road, off the beaten track, you're going through rivers, you're going through mud, even snow, depending on the time of year, all of that. Having ground clearance means that you can go over obstacles and things that would otherwise get caught effectively on your underside of your car. So rocks and undulations that can pose a risk to your drivetrain and to the bottom of your car no longer becomes a risk anymore. That's why we want to lift our cars in our Territory. Now, I have to admit, I didn't really think I was even going to lift this car, but I caught up with a member up in Toowoomba off actually a Ford Territory off-road and camping. Highly recommend you subscribe to the Facebook group. Fantastic bunch of people there. I caught up with him, and I mean, check out his rig. Have a look at it. You know, it's a beastie as anything. That thing could conquer a small country. I saw it and I thought, wow, I want this as well. So the way I achieved the lift that I have is I use King's front raised springs, King's rear raised springs, and 2 rear spacers on each of the rear springs. The reason for the spacers is that the Territory actually sits a bit lower stock. It just sits lower in the rear than it does in the front. So the spacers kind of just help even it out, make it a bit nicer, make it really evened out. So that's how I did my lift. Now, as you can see, check out this picture here. What a world of difference. The top is stock. Now, I have to admit my springs were old. I think they came with the car. It was fully laden, but regardless of that, even look at the front of the car, it's still quite low. Now check out after I did the suspension job at the bottom. Have a go at that. That thing, it doesn't look like a lot, but that extra inch-ish can make the difference between clearing tracks, undulations, even a water crossing without water coming in. That's the difference between water in, water not in, you going over that hump, you not doing that hump, and things like that. That's that difference there. So I achieved that using that kit. Now that kit cost me roughly $1,000. It is on the pricey side, but that's how I did my basic inch of lift. Raised front, raised rear, and spacers. Now, would I do that again? The answer is no. And this is where I made my mistake. And now we actually have better options for your Ford Territory than doing what I did. So that's my mistake that I made. And before I get into it, why was it a mistake? The problem with your front raised King springs is that they're quite stiff. We've only got stock shocks on the Ford Territory. I'm actually running Gables right now. You've only got stock shocks. So the problem is that because they're heavy duty springs, they put an increased amount of wear on your shocks. They're kind of tensioning it a lot more than it would otherwise be. Also, the ride becomes incredibly rough, and it is. You do sacrifice a fair bit of that ride. So the front, I can't say I'm happy with, and we have better options for that. So that is where I went wrong on the Ford Territory lift. Up until now, it's been perfect, it's been fantastic, but I have noticed increased wear and tear on my front shocks. I mean, I only installed the shocks in August, and I pushed the car pretty hard going through the snow, going through rivers and things like that, and I'm already feeling it getting quite, bumpy and worn and things like that. So that's where I went wrong, and this is where I'm going to recommend to you guys what to do differently. If you want to do an affordable basic lift, just an inch, just a basic inch or less, what you can do is, instead of doing raised King springs on the front, just keep your regular springs. Keep your regular springs and check out Territory Off-Road for a set of increased front spring forks. Now these forks are from a later model Territory, and they actually give you the same raise as these raised king springs actually do. They keep your stock travel on your shocks, they keep your stock suspension comfort, they make touring really nice, and you still get that lift as well. So what I would change from what I have now is that I wished I actually had a higher fork, but my same original springs and suspension on my front. I would recommend, if you are looking at lifting your Ford Territory just an inch, a very affordable way, check out Territory Off-Road, reach out to him, and he might have a set of raised forks. If he doesn't, go to a wreck car or anything like that and just look for these SZ Territory forks. But you can keep the same suspension otherwise. You don't have to modify anything else like that. But still go king rear raised springs and your spring spacers. Quite an affordable way to do it. So that's what I've done. It's basically a nutshell how's the car right now. Now, more importantly, what am I planning to do in the future? Now do I have some cool parts for you? So, again, courtesy of Territory Off-Road, he's an absolute legend. So what I've got planned right now is to increase my car an extra inch and a bit. And so that's gonna take me to just about 2 inches of lift from stock. So what I have here, I've got 2 front spring spacers, and Territory Off-Road actually manufactures all this. I bear this in mind, and so again, this is all just for our cars. I've got 2 front spring spacers. These are gonna go on top of my springs on the front. I've also got 2 rear spring spacers that sit in that hole where your stock springs will normally go. So these will actually effectively give you a 40 millimeter, give or take, of lift on your rear as well. Also got 2 45 70 17 tires to put in this car. I'm just waiting on my dynamic rims to come. I hope they do come soon because I've got all my parts ready to go. I'm just waiting on them. So that's how I'm going to lift my car. Key thing you really have to consider when you're going beyond an inch. Again, what I mentioned before, your basic inch lift, easy, not a lot of work, not a lot of custom job. Now this is where your extra inch really comes in. The problem as you raise the Ford Territory more is that the higher you go, this is the car, this is the wheel, the higher you go, the more you're pulling up your wheel through your camber arm. And so basically the higher you go, your wheel cambers in and you get a negative camber. So if you're going more than an inch, grab yourself one of these. This is an adjustable camber kit. It means that wheel arm specialists and things like that can adjust your camber perfectly. Now, what I have right here was actually manufactured by Territory Off-Road. Now, what makes these really special beyond your stock, even just your regular adjustable camber arms, is this bit right here. This is actually added reinforcement for our Ford Territories because Territory Off-Road, if you check out his videos and things like that, I'll put a link in my description. He wheels them hard, like really hard, and he actually runs these in his car. It's all custom made. So if you're going more than an inch, 2 inches, please grab yourself one of these that come with the Super Pro bushes as well. They're fully adjustable, honestly, a very well made actually. I've only just got this out of the box literally like an hour or 2 ago. I'm genuinely impressed with how good these are made. So they come in red, I've got mine in black, but yeah, that's what you have to do if you're going that extra step up. So they're the plans I have for this car. So in a nutshell, what do you need to upgrade 1 inch? SZ forks in the front, that's it, touch nothing. On the back, raised king springs and spring spacers. That's it. That will give you a lovely, nice lift. 2 inches or more of lift. Keep everything what I just said, but then on the front, you add a spacer on the front, and then on the rear, you add an additional rear spacer. Because of your camber, then you will need adjustable camber arms. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that little summary about lifting your Ford Territory. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm really eager to get stuck into the next phase of the Territory build. I cannot wait to show you guys how this car is going to be. If you can't tell, I'm really up for on this stuff. I can't wait. Is there anything else that you want me to do or see? Drop in a comment below, and I'll see you guys next time.